Hey guys, I'm gonna do an update on my truck. I'm right now working on intercooling. I've put the intercooler in like 3 weeks ago, and right now I'm working on getting the intake plate for the intercooler and all that stuff. Came off of that motor right there, and then there's another one right there. Yes, we have a lot of 4BDs. One's for that one. And this is the piping that came with it. This pipe right here was originally for the piece that came off the turbo and then went up to the intercooler in the bread van, but I can't use this piece on that side because it's not how I'm just gonna run it straight across. And then there's a shorter piece that looks, well, little short piece here. I was gonna stick this in here, but it's like I could wedge it in there, but it'd be cocked like this, and then the boots would be all kinked, and I can't have that. So I'm just gonna take and cut out probably that much out of the pipe, and then re-weld it. And then I have a piece of pipe over there that I'm gonna do the flange, the bead things here, so that when you're under pressure that it doesn't blow the boots off. And then I noticed that I've found a couple more problems that I have to deal with now. I was underneath the truck, I was looking, and I dropped a hose clamp from the air-to-air tube. Come on, tension cord. There we go. I noticed, up there, that dip right there, it's for the truck. I rolled the truck back a little bit ago, but it's leaking antifreeze. See that wet? Goes all the way up into there, and it's coming from the heater on the firewall, and it's leaking. Of course, you know, not right there where it'd be easy. It's leaking down up under here, the flange, and that's why the passenger side of my floorboard is always damp. I always thought it was just because of the rain and never got air in here, but my passenger side floorboard, like this, I gotta bring a flashlight in here, wherever it went. There we go. Oop, and I'm blocking the camera. But that's why that carpet is soaked, but it's leaking. Ignore the wire nut. It's leaking right. See, there's some leftover cardboard. This thing had like cardboard sound deadening, but now I got this new like tinfoil adhesive stuff. It actually surprisingly works, but it's leaking right behind the heater where it mounts to the firewall inside. So I'm hoping that I can maybe fix it, because that heater's kind of made for the truck. So I don't really have to put an aftermarket one in if I could find one. Otherwise, no heat would kind of stink. But that heater will put some heat out. It'll cook you out of the truck, especially now that I got door seals in the truck. And then of course, update from before, we got the 5-speed ZF5, and then a bunch of other crap. I got a bunch of gauges over there. These, that one's EGT, and that one's Boost. Didn't have those in the video that I had where this before the swap, it was gas. And I got Ford clutch and brake pedal assembly. Brake pedal's not hooked up right now because I don't have a master cylinder up on the firewall yet. I'm waiting until I change the front end out, so I'll have discs all the way around. But for now, this is the original brake pedal with the master cylinder underneath the floorboard. And that, I guess I got drums up front now, and then a 488 axle in the rear. So it's discs in the rear. But yep, major leak that I have found. I've always had a little bit of an oil pan leak, I thought. But originally I thought it was a rear main, and then I was like, nah, it's probably not a rear main. It doesn't leak that much. I thought it was just an oil pan gasket because it's smeared with RTV. Well, I went today's the day after Easter. I went for maybe 2-hour drive of 2 hours worth of driving, and that's probably the longest I've ever run it at once. And it must have opened up the rear main seal a little bit, because I don't know if you can see, the whole bottom of the transmission is completely wet. You can see the transmission cross member is wet, and it was actually dripping. I wiped the drip off. And then, if you notice, if I can point the flashlight the right way, drive shaft's got splatters on it. The exhaust pipe is covered in oil. The axle is covered in oil. The underside of the bed is covered in oil. The inside of the frame's covered in oil. And then I happened to notice, after I saw that, I was like, okay, definitely my rear main's leaking now. And then I happened to think about it a little bit later. I noticed on, I think it was Friday, the splatters on the exhaust tip. Never thought anything about it. But now, guess I should have looked underneath. So, I don't know if it was the really long driving that got it warmed up and it started puking, or if it just let go and started puking by itself. And I'm pretty sure it's the rear main, because if you look down, probably can't see it from here, but there's a hole. See that hole right there where that underneath the fuel, or to the bottom right hand side of the fuel filter there? That's a hole that you can, that's for like the automatic transmissions, that you can put the bolts in to hold the torque converter plate and or the flex plate. That's got oil coming out of it. So rear main bit the dust, which is weird because the clutch didn't slip. So hopefully I'll have to just pull the transmission this week and do the rear main. Hopefully AutoZone or Napa has a rear main seal, because I know they don't have the front main seals for some reason, or an intake gasket. I had to order an intake gasket for this and that one, because I'm switching the intake plate from this one to that one. But other than that, show you the intercooler. Looks pretty cool behind the grill. And I had to cut. I had to do some whacking and cutting, but I got steel to go in right behind here and over here where I cut it out. So, and I had to make new radiator support brackets. And then this one's down here. Right there's where the battery used to be. Now I got a big 900 cold crank amp battery. It's over here with double gauge battery cables. So starting in the winter is no problem. Of course, this thing starts really easy. Oh, and I guess since the last time too, the last video that I did, that's new turbo. Yeah, HX30. I almost said HX35. That's for a 5.9. But there, can't really see it very well. HX30. It's got basically a smaller exhaust housing and a bigger intake, and you can see hiding. I'll move this nice and shiny in there. Here's the wastegate, and then it goes back there underneath the manifold. And the guy I bought it from, I got it for 150 bucks from a guy out in Wyoming. He has a YouTube channel if you want to see him. It's the Well-Spoken Dude, all one word. He's got a 77 Ford F-250 on a Dodge 2500 frame with one of these 4BTs in it, and then this was originally what was on it, and then he went to one that has a bigger intake hole on it. So it's like, this one's a 42 millimeter. I think he went to a 52 millimeter is what I think. It's like the Super HX30. But yeah, that's pretty awesome turbo. Spools up immediately. I can get the wastegate to open at like 3/4 throttle. Makes about, I think I got the wastegate set now at 25 psi, because I had it set at 27 and I couldn't get it to open up. Truck's too light. So 25 now I can let off of it and it'll open up the wastegate. And then I've advanced the timing just a smidge, because I noticed these motors, these other two motors for the other two trucks that we have that we're putting them in, I noticed that had the timing retarded. Right there you can see the line of the tip of my finger. They had the injection pump line down here as far as the injection pump would go, because we were running them in here and we were trying to hit the throttle and it's just white smoking and not poor throttle response, and it was popping, and so I was like, oh, I hope we didn't buy crap motors. Then I was looking at the timing and fixed that, and now it's like 100 times more powerful because it'll make the whole pallet flex and crack. Here's the injector lines. You gotta take those off to get the intake plate off. Here's the other intake plate that was originally on it. It'll go on this guy. It ignores the ugly blue. It was just primer paint. But here's the charge tube that originally was on it. And then there's for the wastegate. But you can see size difference. Maybe not. On camera they look the exact same size. But I promise you they're bigger.